On the table here we got the CRKT Outrage. This is a knife designed by Ken Onion, and I think that is pretty evident in that the blade shape and just the overall design reminds you of a Ken Onion designed flipper. And another collaboration by CRKT and Ken Onion would be the CRKT Ripple. This is the Ripple 2, a little smaller version, but you can kind of tell the family resemblance of the Ken Onion design knives. Now this is a knife that is produced out of China by CRKT. Of course, you have the 8CR13 MOV steel that comes on a lot of CRKT imported knives from China. And out of box, it was not extremely sharp. It has a usable edge, but not a very sharp edge. So that might be something you need to retouch up when you receive the knife. The blade is a drop point kind of style blade and is a hollow ground blade. This features the IKBS ball bearing system by CRKT, which makes this knife deploy very well, very effectively, very fast and smooth. It's actually one of the smoothest, fastest flipping knives that I have. Some of the Kershaws with the assist are fast, but not as smooth, I guess you would say. Now, you have aluminum scales, which are milled out and finished with a gray kind of coating. Now, it's a neat little look there with the gray, with the milling texture, where you have kind of the lines. One direction you have some of the little, spots there on the milling pattern. It has a Zytel back spacer instead of standoffs. That's usually just to save cost and how they produce some of the cheaper knives, because this knife is only $42.95. So you also have a liner lock, which is stainless steel, and there's stainless steel liners on both sides of the knife. So $42 for a knife that has a 3.25 inch blade out of 8CR13 MOV. You get nice milled aluminum scales. It only weighs 4.15 ounces, which is under 5 ounces, which is not bad. It also has a stainless steel pocket clip, deep carry pocket clip, but it is only positionable to the right tip up side. It's a little bit funky pocket clip, but it actually will accommodate even tactical pants that have the little thicker fabric. Overall, it's a great knife. The only, complaint I would have is the fact that it is only positionable to the right side, and I'm a left-handed user. And I wish CRKT would actually put some knives into production that have clip on both sides. I think the other CRKT that came out recently, the DeLeon Mile design, I believe has the ability to put on both the right and left hand side. That's really the only complaint I would have about this. It is a little dull out of box. It's not the sharpest knife, as you see, but for $42.95 for getting the aluminum scales and a reasonably sized blade, not bad. So let's see how the Ken Onion compares to some other designs, especially by Ken Onion. What about this CRKT Ripples? I know the one on the bottom with the stainless steel is a little bit more expensive because it has the Akudo 440, and that's going to be about $51.95. I believe this aluminum version, which also has 8CR13 MOV steel, is about $30. It is lighter. This one is 2.5 ounces, and this one is 2.4 ounces. I don't believe they have the stainless steel liners on both sides. They are both Ken Onion designs, and one is made from China, the other is from Taiwan. But of course, they're both a little bit smaller. How about another Ken Onion design? We got the Kershaw Blur. Now this is another design where the pocket clip is only positionable on the right hand side. So if you're a lefty like me, you're out of luck. And this is also another aluminum handled knife where you're going to have, but it's going to be a little bit lighter, not by much. It's 3.9 ounces. So the Kershaw Blur is also made in the USA. So if you want to support those USA laborers, like for the Kershaw Blur, but you are going to pay more money, that's $70. You're also going to get a better steel, a 14C28N Sandvik steel, about the same blade length, a little bit different blade shape with the recurve, but that is the Kershaw Blur. While we're on Kershaw's, why don't we compare it to the Kershaw Knockout? Now, Kershaw Knockout is going to be another USA produced Kershaw design, another 14C28N Sandvik steel, another aluminum hand skilled knife. This one's going to be lighter though. This comes in at 3.8 ounces, so it is slightly lighter than the CRKT Outrage. And this, you can position the pocket clip on all four sides, so this is one of my favorite because of that, and it's also a very thin knife. So that's the Kershaw Knockout compared to the CRKT Outrage. Let's give a comparison to the Cold Steel Code 4. This is an older version in the AUS 8, but the current version comes in CTS XHP steel. So that's supposed to be a pretty good steel. This comes out of Taiwan. This is going to be more expensive, at least the new CTS XHP version at $76. 4.15 ounces, so the exact same weight as a CRKT Outrage, but you do have a bigger blade, bigger handle, overall different types of knives. They're both EDC. In theory, the triad lock should be stronger, but if you're EDCing a knife, why worry too much about the strength of the lock if you're just using it for EDC tests, which I think most people who buy a CRKT Outrage, that's what they'd be using it for. So that's the Code 4, and another advantage of the Code 4 is you can put the pocket clip on the left side. Finally, I'm going to compare the CRKT Outrage to the very popular, well-known Benchmade 940, and this is going to be something that's completely out of the price range of a CRKT Outrage. You're going to have, again, USA produced S30V steel, so very good steel, 3.4 inch blade, so it's a little bit longer of a cutting edge. Now this is of course going to be the lightest of the bunch at 2.9 ounces, but of course you are paying a lot more money for this aluminum handled knife at $195 for this version that's on the table. But you can also put the pocket clip on the left side. So that is the Benchmade 940, very popular knife by Benchmade compared to the CRKT Outrage. So overall, I'd say the CRKT Outrage at its price currently on Blade HQ of $42.95 is actually a great deal. You're getting aluminum handles that are milled to a nice, interesting pattern, nice gray finish. Maybe CRKT will do other colors in the future, kind of like they did with the Kershaw Blur and some other aluminum handle scale knives. You're not getting the best steel in the world at 8CR13 MOV, but you are only paying you're paying less than $50 for this knife. It's got a hollow ground blade, IKBS, which makes it smooth and fast deployment. It's one of the most fun knives to flip that I own. So overall, if you're looking for something that is, I would say, a budget, because under $50, if you're spending on a pocket knife, I'd say that's pretty good budget. For a pocket knife, if you're not willing to pay as much for a Benchmade or Zero Tolerance or any of those, or maybe the expensive Spydercos. But if you want something that's reasonably priced, that I think you'll get good performance out of, you might have to retouch up the edge out of box, and that's kind of how it is with some of those overseas produced knives. But for $42.95 for what you're getting a 3.25 inch cutting edge, and you're getting the quality of CRKT, which is actually, for me, I've had pretty good experience with. So that's my review of the CRKT Outrage. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.